Hello, everyone. This is book two for May 2020. I was saying for this month, but you know what month it is. We're just going to keep doing these books as long as I can read, as long as I'm alive, as long as I have somewhere to do them and film them. Those are not givens these days, but book two for this month. Hope on a tightrope. Let's continue reading through it. One of the most disturbing things about identity talk, especially in America, but it's true around the world, is that when people speak about identity, they always begin by talking about the victims. Having a conference on race, bring on the black folk. We don't want to invite some white racists so they can lay bare the internal dynamics of what it is to be a white racist. No. Having a conference on gender, bring on women. Whiteness is as fundamental to the discussion of race as blackness is. Maleness is as fundamental to the discussion of gender as femaleness is. We need to get a handle on how this whiteness, maleness, and straightness functions over time and space in relation to blackness, brownness, or yellowness, or womanness, or gayness, or lesbianness. In America, human beings primarily define themselves physically, socially, politically, and sexually in terms of whiteness and blackness, maleness and femaleness, heterosexuality and homosexuality, and American and un-American. This is how we perceive ourselves, and it reinforces constraints on the human capacities of those who are victimized by the racism, sexism, homophobia, and chauvinism. We have got to come up with mature forms of black self-love, black self-respect, in which whiteness is not a point of reference, either negative or positive. There have always been class divisions in black America. I disagree with that. Going back to the division between slaves on the plantation. There were house slaves versus field slaves, but they slaves. So I don't know if that constitutes class, but we'll keep going. The difference was that black people always had a strong sense of we consciousness. We were all grouped together by the white supremacist authority and power in place at the time. Even during the time of Jim and Jane Crow, you had deep class divisions, just like you had huge divisions in terms of color. The light-skinned black folk were able to gain access to certain opportunities that the dark-skinned black folk could not. The black middle class in the United States has become drunk with the wine of the world, materialism, narcissism, and hedonism. And then we wonder why the younger generation does not have access to the traditions of the struggle. Preach to young folk to be successful rather than to be great, and they will think it's all about success. Do you really believe that Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Marcus Garvey, A. Philip Randolph, and Malcolm X died so that we can just be successful? Do you think they died so that you can just be peacocks walking around saying, look at me, look at me, look at me? Somebody needs to remind everyone that peacocks strut because they can't fly. In America, they shoot eagles and applaud peacocks, which is another way of saying that all that materialism, the clothes, the cars, the houses, the mansions, the status, is nothing but paraphernalia of suffering, an attempt to distance yourself from the suffering because you have had so much of it. According to a 2007 Pew Research Center survey, 37% of black folk don't consider themselves as part of a single black race. The we consciousness of black people is waning in a significant way. If that's true, it means that it may become much more difficult for certain black middle class people to feel as if the black underclass wants a focus and concentration. Instead, they can accept the more mainstream assimilated perspective, which is that the black underclass is not a black underclass at all. It's just individuals who are lazy, undisciplined, and have done their work. They get what they deserve. That's a common American mainstream perspective of poor as a whole. Once we lose any sense of black upper and middle class as a black upper working class connecting with the black underclass with a we consciousness or sense of community, we become much more difficult to focus. It becomes much more difficult to focus on the plight of the black poor. And mark my place for the next video. All right. Hope on a tightrope. Small book, a lot of wisdom. Um, until next time, I want to say thank you for supporting my platforms. I need more support, obviously, and pass it around, like it, share it. We need more information, not less. And until next time, please take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.